Hello, myself Sunil R Nair, and here basically we are talking about the World Bank, that person basically. Now in this basically we had literally discussed that rich person basically he want to become the richest person in the world. For that basically what are the things basically he has done. Like this basically one person basically got HIV/AIDS and Nasbandi. Then he told that basically, do you know what the place basically where this was done? Then he told that basically this was done in Mumbai city. In Mumbai city. That means Shiv Sena and Manase, that group basically have done this. Then he told that yes, exactly. This group basically has helped that group basically to give HIV/AIDS and Nasbandi. That means this group basically how they basically got the money basically. Then he told that basically they got the money. Then basically they that means for money basically they killed that particular person. Exactly, they killed. In this basically Manase and Shiv Sena basically they are connected with Mumbai police also. Then he told that yes, basically they are connected with Mumbai police also. That means Mumbai police also involved in this HIV/AIDS and Nasbandi. Exactly. That means Mumbai police. That means by default it's entire India basically because India Mumbai is controlling the entire Indian economy. Exactly. That means entire India was basically involved in this murder. That is basically HIV/AIDS and Nasbandi. Like this basically this topic is ongoing. That means you want to say the Manase and Shiv Sena basically these two group basically killed that particular person basically with the help of Mumbai police. Exactly, basically. But in this Mumbai, basically, Gujarati also stays, Malayalis also stays, Tamil people also basically stays. That means this group basically also were involved in this. Exactly, this group were also involved in murder of that particular boy. This all basically has generated the matrix basically, and this has generated. And this was basically done in 2006. This HIV/AIDS and Nasbandi was done in of that particular poor boy in 2006. This was done by one of the Tamil people basically and he was basically he's basically playing the role of Amin also basically. That group basically has done this. In this basically Marathi group supported that particular person, then basically Gujarati supported and Malayali supported. Like this basically each and every people basically supported that particular person. So that person basically got the HIV/AIDS and then basically got the Nasbandi also. Like this basically the entire group basically planned this murder. That means basically the entire Mumbai is involved or basically that particular group only. Manase and Shiv Sena basically. But Manase and Shiv Sena by default that is basically the Congress also, BJP also, Manape also. Then basically the entire basically political party that basically sits in Parliament House. That was 2001 basically where the attack was happened. That Parliament House, yes, basically exact. That entire group was basically involved in this. Entire group basically was involved in. That means in this basically the why basically they have done the murder basically of that particular boy in 2006. Then they told that that was basically some old basically enemy basically due to that basically they killed that poor boy basically. That was basically they have done the marriage basically of the HIV/AIDS girl, and then basically they literally killed that person's generation. That is basically next generation. That is basically the Nasbandi, and then basically they killed that person in Dubai basically. In Dubai basically how they killed. They basically when they were he was basically sleeping at that time basically he threw his body basically in the sea basically with the help of ship, cargo ship. That means with the help of ship, basically they have thrown that body. Yes, basically, and he basically does not exist today. That is basically today means its time is 18th November to 13. So this is the basically time where basically that person basically was murdered by the entire basically group basically. In this basically the entire Dubai also basically supported that group basically. That is basically Manase and Shiv Sena basically. And in this Mumbai police was also involved, and the Amin group was also involved. Amin group basically by default basically SBI group basically. He basically literally told that basically we will kill that particular person. That would be good. Like this basically the entire matrix generated and basically it connected to 100 crore planets in universe basically. Like this basically the matrix generated, and this has already generated. And like after a few basically time basically this matrix is going to generate one condition, and in this condition basically that would be end of that time will stay basically. Who basically ends that time will say basically when the condition is each and every condition going to match that time basically the each and every condition and it is going to match that time is going to tell who basically is going to die and whose generation is going to end. whose generation is going to end and who is basically going to die. Like that, the time is going to tell that whose generation has ended and who basically was ended basically. Like this basically the person basically World Bank basically told that basically this was negative energy basically. Yes, basically, but that HIV AIDS and Nasbandi was also positive energy. Then he told that basically yes, basically this has basically created a big issue basically. Then basically I think I need to leave from USA. Basically reason is every anything basically can happen anytime because that group basically that is Indian nationality. The people basically who actually murdered that boy basically they are Indian nationality. Manase and Shiv Sena. They basically murdered that particular boy because this incident basically happened in 2006 in Mumbai. Like this basically the group basically done the murder plan and that person basically was killed in Dubai basically. Like this basically Dubai government basically told that why basically we should do the mother. The customer basically we are not giving you the visiting visa basically they are coming they are basically doing the traveling basically and each and every basically the mazdoor basically of the creation basically house basically that is ongoing that basically Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh people are sending. Acha, so we should basically do that your task basically. Like this basically they done also the task of Indian nationality. Like this basically that person basically died in Dubai basically. This is basically a real story basically. This is basically a real story of one of the person in Mumbai basically he was staying as he was basically working in ICICI Bank. That is basically the 3i Infotech basically. So in this basically 3i Infotech also came basically. That is ICICI Bank group. That is basically the Germany group. One person told that basically few basically the cricket people basically die. Na? They basically their basically body are basically converted into human clone and then basically they are basically getting used. How basically? They basically told that basically they are used like creating a bank. Few people basically say that basically like Raman Lamba basically died. Yeah, basically Raman Lamba died basically, but he basically still exists. Then he told that basically these all are Indian secret. Yes, basically these all are the Indian secret basically. That basically person basically which was going to die. Na, that was basically that basically he died na, in Dubai. That was also basically Indian secret. Then basically that World Bank basically person told that basically I need to leave from USA just now only basically after hearing this all thing. Basically. Then he told that basically no, he has basically left long before basically when the person basically got HIV/AIDS and Nasbati. That time only he left from US. That time only we basically left from US and UK also basically. That means basically how many people basically are existing in the across the world basically. Then he told that basically the Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose he basically has created the entire Indian nationality across the world basically. He basically has spreaded each and every Indian nationality in across the world basically. Then he told that basically, is it sure basically? Then Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose basically, that basically one person told that basically the people has basically who has done this plan, he basically finished the each and every proof also basically. That means Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose exist. Then he told that basically that need to check basically whether he exists or not basically. Whether he basically exists or not, that basically need to check basically. That basically need to check basically whether basically he exists or not. Like this basically the poor basically person basically was killed by Manase, Shiv Sena, and entire Congress party, BJP, and each and every Basapa, and basically each and every political party basically who sits in the Parliament House. They basically literally kill that basically person basically. And like this basically the Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose statue basically also basically was placed there basically. So that basically the Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, he basically also helped them to kill that particular boy because they have kept the statue also basically there in the Parliament House basically. But this is a real story basically. Then he told that basically there's if you want to verify basically then you can verify because each and every Mumbai basically people knows. Each and every Mumbai Marathi people basically knows that basically the Shiv Sena and Manase people group have basically killed that boy. Then basically the thing basically captured that basically why he killed basically that particular boy. Why this entire group basically killed that particular boy? Because this each and every matrix and it has generated in the universe, and that basically it has connected to more than 100 crore planet basically. That's why basically after hearing this word basically lots of people basically left from each and every USA, UK basically. Then he told that there is no need to leave basically because the president of United States of America, he's from Indian basically. That's why basically he placed each and every people basically who are basically European people. There also basically the Indian president basically is basically taken the place basically. So that basically anything big will happen in UK, USA, then Indian president will 100% know. Na. That means it's a big plan here. Exactly. So people basically who know this, they basically say that basically I am leaving this Earth planet. He left the Mars. He basically told that I am leaving the Mars to the Mars. Then he told that basically it's the entire 100 crore has been taken. If you leave in the Mars also, then basically then also basically things is not going to work. Then also things is not going to work. Then one of the basically the universe people told that basically if Earth planet basically that means your condition says that only Earth planet must exist, right? Then he told that exactly basically the Earth planet must exist. This is the only condition. This is the only condition. So due to that basically Manasseh Shiv basically the entire world basically came into trouble because that person basically was killed by the Manasseh and Shiv basically group. He basically first given the HIV/AIDS girl to marriage, and then basically he told that basically we will finish his generation also. Otherwise, basically in future basically our people basically might get in trouble. So like this basically his nasbandi was also done, and at last basically they killed that person in Dubai. So that basically no proof will be this type of incidents also basically has happened. Nobody can prove that. So like that World Bank person told that basically that means that person exists or not basically. That basically is the question basically because his blood cells was removed from the blood group basically. He exists or not basically. Then he told that basically let me check here basically. I need to check each and every incident basically happened in the Mumbai basically. First of all that basically because in Mumbai basically lots of Gujaratis are also there basically. They have also supported that particular group basically. Then basically I need to check here basically each and everything basically. But they told that why basically they have done this all this. Why the poor boy basically why basically he was killed basically. Then he told that basically need that also basically need to check. That also need to check. Because each and every matrix is already generated, each and everything basically is already connected to 100 crore planet. Now basically nothing can be happen. That is the main thing. Basically. That is the main thing. Nothing can be happen now. That is only one thing basically that matrix is going to generate and the condition is going to satisfy soon. So that is basically the coming soon project. In this India land is basically going to create history basically. That is the condition of HIV/AIDS and Nasbandi basically. In this basically one person basically told that that person basically was doing the Hanumanji Upwas also basically. Yes, basically that's why one person told that basically he had done the Hanumanji Upwas. That's why basically he was killed. One person basically literally told this basically. That's why basically he was killed because he was doing the Hanumanji Upwas and Sri Ram Upwas. Then he told that basically that might be also the reason basically. Then he told that basically Hanumanji and Sri Ram basically Upwas basically is supposed to do. Now basically he asked the question basically. Then he told that basically only Uttar Pradesh Ayodhya people basically can tell this. That basically Hanumanji and Sri Ram basically Upwas is supposed to do or not. Because that person basically was killed in Dubai basically. That person basically was killed in Dubai basically. That means that person basically who basically blood group basically was removed, that person basically exists or not because this is each and every police people also basically know because the police basically was also involved in this murder basically. This was basically literally murder basically of that particular poor boy. Few people says that basically are you sure basically this is fake story or real story basically that Then he told that basically the this type of energy basically has generated in Earth planet. How many stories like this basically he told that basically this is one story like this basically how many stories are basically generated. Then he told that basically there might be many story basically. There might be many story which has been generated in this world basically. This is just one story which basically which basically came in front of the India basically. Sorry, in front of the world basically. That's why basically in the big post basically the UK Prime Minister is Indian, USA Prime Minister is also Indian. That's why basically they have placed each and everything because if anything basically happens big, then basically they are basically going to know. Na? That's why basically. Then one person told that basically what about the New Zealand, what about the Australia, what about the Dubai? They're basically it's a Indian only, na basically. Each and every money basically are invested by the India only basically. But the thing was basically only USA and UK basically. Their basically money is not of Indian basically. That's why basically they placed Indian origin president basically there. That means somebody basically has done this literally basically the plan basically you can say exactly basically. This was planned by literally that HIV AIDS and Nasbandi was planned by one person basically. Literally this was planned only basically. But who actually planned here basically? Because in Mumbai basically, if you say that basically Manasseh and Shiv Sena basically, they help basically the people basically, but they only helps the Marathi people basically. They don't basically helps other than people basically. This person basically was a Malayali basically. He was basically killed in Mumbai basically. That means they only help Marathi people basically. Yes, exactly. They only basically their slogan only basically says that Marathi Jindabad. That's why they basically killed. That means basically one person told that basically lots of people says that Mahendra Singh Dhoni is from Bihar, Ranchi. Then one person told that basically real Singh Dhoni who hitted the sinks. He is Marathi basically. Then one person told that basically is this person basically was murdered by the Manasseh and Shiv Sena basically due to that basically six. Then basically told that how basically that is possible here. Due to six basically how one person basically will get murdered. So you want to say that basically the Hanumanji basically is murdered. Hanumanji basically there is no value of Hanumanji. Basically, you want to say like that basically in Marathi in Mumbai basically there is no value of Sri Ram. No, basically they have created the Ram Mandir station also basically to give the proof basically so that basically this should issue should not create big basically. So this was created by Uttar Pradesh or Bihari or Madhya Pradesh. Then he told that basically lots of people basically like Sanjay Nirupam is there. He might have created this basically. That means you want to say that Sanjay Nirupam was also involved in this murder of that particular poor boy. Then he told that basically that also need to verify basically. Because each and every condition is already checked and each and everything basically is satisfied in the universe basically. That is the 100 crore planets basically has already checked basically just basically waiting for some conditions basically. That basically automatically India land is going to give you that. That means this is real story or this is fake story basically. He told that basically time will tell. Like this basically also this is the one of the part of video.